What is your path to Dharma? Coming down with a cold already. School just began.
Yeah, it happens. All the little children.
All the little children. Peyton and I were in the hammock together. He accidentally full forearm to the nose. Like not on purpose. He was like trying to move to like pet spruce. Boom. I'm like,
Ouch. You know what? Some days are an elbow to the face. And both of us had all the reasons not to come on here and read together. And we were just talking about it a little bit. And I feel like this is exactly when you need to turn to the divine when you're struggling with your earth human. So I'm really glad to be here with you on this beautiful day on earth here, live from the Kali Yuga. Here we are, Shannon and Shay, Path to Dharma podcast, just swimming through our life the best we possibly can. But actually, no, we're thriving, Shay. We're thriving. That's the whole purpose of why we came here on earth, to get these game characters. We wanted these avatars. We wanted a different experience than we've had in other bodies and lifetimes. So sometimes we have to suffer through the unpleasantness of the earth existence to get at those beautiful nuggets of like bliss, right?
I saw this funny meme that was like, the last time I went up to heaven or whatever, the last time I died, I went to God and I said, "No, please God, please send me back to earth. I want to go swimming in lakes again. I want to hold hands with my best friend. I want to go grocery shopping 10 million more times. I want to like all." Then it got into like all the like little annoying things. No, I want to have to figure out what to eat for dinner every single night again.
Right? This is our joyful experiences that we're having here. So
Yeah.
I want to thank Krishna for my life. I want to thank
Thank you,
Krishna for
Krishna.
this experience. Thank you for this body, this avatar, every challenge, every lesson I have,
Mm.
every wonderful experience, every terrible experience, every moment of grief and pain and joy and love, all of it. I'm here for it. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hey, yay, yay. Okay. All right. So, welcome to our podcast. Shannon and Shay here. We've been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, changing our life, changing our frequency, our vibration, everything around us has been changing as we're reading these beautiful divine words. So we are
Yes.
currently in chapter 29. We've been listening in on a conversation between Devahuti and Kapila.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord Kapila has been breaking down the universe, much in the same way we heard it described, but slightly differently.
Yeah.
Kapila has been explaining everything. So we're about to get into chapter 29, which is titled Explanation of Devotional Service by Lord Kapila. And before we begin, of course, we're going to do some obeisances, but just want to say that sometimes the devotional service that you're performing for the divine is just life. It's just like
Yeah.
experiencing life. You know what I mean? Just being
Mm-hmm.
here and experiencing, and just that alone, um, I guess sometimes is enough.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do anything, dear soul.
Yeah.
You just need to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reminder.
Mm.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one must first offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Let's go. Let's go, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Vyasa. Thank you, universe. Thank you, goddess. Thank you, dear viewer, for being here with us. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I think like we were kind of saying in the beginning to each other. Sometimes those days where you don't want to or you don't feel like you want to connect with the universe, that's when you probably need to.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Well, we are getting through Canto 3 Part 2. Like, we're
Yeah.
almost finished. We're through a big chunk.
Yeah, we're through a lot of it. So let's just start. So here we are, explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapila, text 1 and 2. Devahuti inquired.
Love when it starts with a question.
Yes, my dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now, I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical
Mm.
systems. Yes, how do we devote? How do we go about devotion? Do tell.
Devahuti continued, My dear Lord, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. For by hearing of such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of this material world.
Yeah, this is what we need right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
This is what we need.
this is
This is
exactly.
it.
Love you,
Okay,
Devahuti.
thank you. Please also describe eternal time, which is a representation of your form and by whose influence people in general engage in the performance of pious activities.
Mm. My dear Lord, you are just like the sun, for you illuminate the darkness of the conditional life of the living entities. Because their eyes of knowledge are not yet open, they are sleeping eternally in that darkness without your shelter, and therefore they are falsely engaged by the actions and reactions of their material activities, and they appear to be very fatigued.
Devahuti, speaking the truth.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I love how sometimes things are so parallel. It's so parallel at times. Just everything is,
So good.
it's so good. Okay. All right. Sri Maitreya said, O best among the Kurus, the great sage Kapila, moved by great compassion and pleased by the words of his glorious mother, spoke as follows.
Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor.
You know, I want to use the word multifarious tomorrow. See if you can work that into
Yes.
your
Okay.
conversations
That's a good
because
one.
there's like really
Multifarious.
good vocabulary just as a side note in this book and multifarious. I need to
Oh,
use that.
you know, at one time people were like, why can't Shay read or whatever? And still, there's like words where I'm like, I've never said this word in my life. What is this
This
word?
is the first time I'm ever
I
uttering it.
almost, I almost stuttered on multifarious. It took me a moment.
I think that's even right. I've never even heard that word either. Okay. Sorry. Bringing it back. Pulling it
Yeah.
back. Pull it
Yeah.
back in. Okay. All right. Oh, noble lady, he says. Okay.
Yeah.
Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Yeah,
Mm.
sure. Yep. Who
The
hasn't felt
worship,
that? Go ahead.
yes. The worship of deities in the temple by a separatist with motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion.
Sure. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inebrities of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode
Mm.
of goodness. Okay, in
Okay,
the mode of goodness. Okay.
I can do that.
Yep.
The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord.
A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Salokya, sarsti, samipya, sarupya, ekvata, no, ekatva.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, everyone. Even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, I'm just going to say that sentence like
Yeah.
fully through without saying all the words because
Yeah.
we just heard them. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Wow. Okay. And
Okay,
I'm just seeing, I've never heard of those different types of liberations,
yeah,
but Swami P goes into it in the purport, of course,
yeah,
and ek ekatva
yeah.
is merging into the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. Uh,
Oh, wow. Okay.
it breaks all of them down there. I had never like Salokya is
Interesting.
living on the same planet as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay.
Samipya means to be a personal associate of the Supreme Lord.
Ah, okay.
Sarab,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
very interesting.
Really interesting. It kind
So a
of
pure
reminds
devotee does not accept any kind of those liberations.
Interesting. That's interesting because you know how Krishna was always talking about like if you are my devotee, you come to me.
Mm-hmm.
So is that
Mm-hmm.
what is that how does that work in here?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know.
I wonder. Okay, we're gonna just keep going. By attaining the highest platform of devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage, as is the Lord.
Okay. So by doing devotional service in the mode of goodness
Yeah.
and without accepting any types of liberation,
Yeah.
that is when you attain the highest platform and you overcome the three modes of material nature.
When you disassociate from the body. I don't know. Let's keep going.
A devotee must execute his prescribed duties, which are glorious, without material profit. Without excessive violence, one should regularly perform one's devotional activities.
Without excessive violence, but like with a little bit of violence. Some of the words, sometimes I don't understand. I mean, that's just the truth.
Well,
That's 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 just
there's times to be angry, right? Righteously. So, to save someone, you could scream out and violent,
yeah, no, true, true. I mean, like there's a whole entire Mahabharata war.
Right,
Obviously, violence ensues.
right. But if you're going around just violent all the time, that's excessive, I'm sure.
Right. So sometimes there is a purpose in it.
Right.
That's not really for me to try to figure out, to be totally honest.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Or wrong. Who knows? They'll let us
Or
know in the
wrong,
comments,
right? I
please.
don't know. Yeah, please. Right. We don't know what the F we're talking about half the time. Truly. Okay. Here we are. Text 16. The devotee should regularly see my statues in the temple, touch my lotus feet, and offer worshipable paraphernalia and prayer. He should see the spirit of renunciation. He should see in the spirit of renunciation from the modes of goodness and see every living entity as spiritual. Okay.
The pure devotee should execute devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and acharyas. He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendship with persons who are of his equals, but all his activities should be executed under regulation and with control of the senses. Yes.
Yes. A devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple. And although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid company of persons who are not spiritually advanced. Well,
Mm.
it is true they say like who you hang around is who you are. Like
That's so true.
who your friends are is who you are.
Yeah.
So your tribe is your vibe. There you go.
Amen.
Yep.
When one is fully qualified with all these transcendental attributes and his consciousness is thus completely purified, he is immediately attracted simply by hearing my name or hearing of my transcendental qualities.
As the chariot of air carries an aroma from its source and immediately catches the sense of smell, similarly, one who constantly engages in devotional service in Krishna consciousness can catch the Supreme Soul who is equally present everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, can you read that again? Can you read that again?
Yeah. As the chariot of air carries an aroma from its source and immediately catches the sense of smell, similarly, one who constantly engages in devotional service in Krishna consciousness can catch the can catch the supreme soul who is equally
Mm,
present everywhere.
mm-hmm.
So it's like awareness.
Yeah.
It's awareness. Yes.
I am present in every living entity as the supersoul. If someone neglects or disregards that supersoul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temples, that is simply imitation.
Interesting. One who worships the deity of Godhead in the temples but does not know that the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is situated in every living entity's heart must be in ignorance and is compared to one who offers oblations into ashes.
Mm.
Okay.
One
Mm.
who offers me respect but is envious of the bodies of others and is therefore a separatist never attains peace of mind because of his inimical behavior towards other living entities.
Yeah. My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in the temple. Yeah, it's like it's the false worship. It's the worship for just the purpose of doing it, to be seen doing it, or because you're
Right,
supposed to do it without truly having like the worship in your heart.
right.
It's like,
And this is where, correct me if I'm wrong in thinking of this, people who don't even know Krishna, but maybe follow a different path, but like hold this feeling in their heart, will be going to Krishna anyhow. Or, that's where Krishna's like, I am the worshiper of
right,
all the worshipers.
right, 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 right.
But yeah, right,
But if you want to go to Krishna, then you chant Krishna's name,
right, right,
basically.
right.
Um, because he says that even though he is the recipient of all worship, there is a path to him. And
Yeah,
that's part of what we're reading about is like how to go back to him, right?
right, right.
Okay. As the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the
Oh,
least.
wait, we skipped one, didn't we?
Oh, did we do two?
Performing his prescribed duties.
Was that me?
Did
Performing
you
his,
just
I don't know.
go ahead? Go ahead.
Performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and the hearts of other living entities as well. Yeah, I hadn't read that. Yeah.
As the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the least discrimination between himself and other living entities because of a differential outlook.
Okay. Therefore, through charitable gifts and attention, as well as through friendly behavior and by viewing all to be alike, one should propitiate me, who abide in all creatures as their very self.
Living entities are superior to inanimate objects, O Blessed Mother, and among them, living entities who display life symptoms are better. Animals with developed consciousness are better than them, and better still are those who have developed sense perception.
Among the living entities who have developed sense perception, those who have developed the sense of taste are better than those who have developed only the sense of
Mm.
touch. Better than them are those who have developed the sense of smell, and better still are those who have developed the sense of hearing. Um, I'm wondering if it has something to do with all of when we were reading about, you know, the different
Mm-hmm.
manifestations of the giant Purusha or whatever, and like the reason the mouth appeared and the
Right.
reason the ear appeared.
I'm
was
sure.
for specific purposes. So that's probably why he's saying it like this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Better than those living entities who can perceive sound are those who can distinguish between one form and another. Better than them are those who have developed upper and lower sets of teeth. And better still are those who have many legs. Better than them are the quadrupeds. And better still are the human beings.
Wow. That's really crazy. Okay. Among human beings, the society which is divided accordingly to quality and work is best. In that society, the intelligent men who are designated as Brahmins are best. Amongst the Brahmins, one who has studied the Vedas is the best. And amongst the Brahmins who have studied the Vedas, one who knows the actual purport of Veda is the
Oh,
best. This reminds me of that speech that Krishna says in the Gita when he's like, of the, Pandavas, I'm Arjuna, of the
yeah,
rivers, I am the Ganges, of it's like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Better than the Brahmin who knows the purpose of the Vedas is he who can dissipate all doubts, and better than him is the one who strictly follows the Brahminical principles. Better than him is one who is liberated from all material contamination. And better than him is a pure devotee who executes devotional service without expectation of reward.
Therefore, I do not find a greater person than he who has no interest outside of mine and therefore engages and dedicates all his activities and his life, everything, unto me without cessation. Wow.
Such a perfect devotee offers respect to every living entity because he is under the firm conviction that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as the super soul or controller.
I mean, do you think us normies can get to that? I mean, yeah.
I was just thinking that in my head. I'm
Like,
like,
yeah.
okay, I think I was having this realization a couple episodes ago where I'm like, okay, can I really do this?
Right.
Part of me is like, I feel this deep desire to be a mother. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm picturing myself like old woman age, ready to retire to the forest. And like, am I really going to be able to leave my family?
Yeah, right.
Like, am I really going to be able to detach from the material world?
I don't know. Oh, dear mother. Oh, daughter of Manu. A devotee who applies the science of devotional service and mystic yoga in this way can achieve the abode of the Supreme Person simply by that devotional service. So there's your answer.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's bhakti, right?
Yeah.
This Purusa, whom the individual soul must approach, is the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Brahman and Paramatma. He is the transcendental chief personality, and his activities are all spiritual.
The time factor, who causes the transformation of the various material manifestations, is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mm.
Anyone who does not know that time is the same Supreme Personality
Oh,
is afraid of the time factor. It's like your brain starts to explode, like a whole different section of my brain just blew up. You just dead.
oh.
We're dead. Yeah. Okay.
Next 48.
All right. So you don't need to fear time. There's
Yeah,
no
it's
need to fear
just
time. It's not even real. It's just part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. Text
Lord
three.
Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, is the time factor and master of all masters. He enters everyone's heart. He is the support of everyone, and he causes every being to be annihilated by another.
Wow. Wow. No one is dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend. He gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have. Hmm.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the wind blows. Out of fear of him, the sun shines. Out of fear of him, the rain pours forth showers. And out of fear of him, the host of heavenly bodies shed their luster.
Wow. Out of the fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trees, creepers, herbs, and seasonal plants and flowers blossom and fructify, each in its own season. Hmm.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the rivers flow, and the ocean never overflows. Out of fear of him, only does fire burn, and does the earth, with its mountains, not sink in the water of the universe.
Subject to the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sky allows outer space to accommodate all the various planets, which hold innumerable living entities. The total universal body expands with its 7 coverings under his supreme control.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the directing demigods in charge of the modes of material nature carry out the functions of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Everything animate and inanimate within this material world is under their control.
Okay. The eternal time factor has no beginning and no end. It is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maker of the criminal world. It brings about the end of the phenomenal world. It carries on the work of creation by bringing one individual into existence from another, and likewise, it dissolves the universe by destroying even the Lord of Death, Yamaraja. That's the end of the 29th chapter. Hey, hey, hey. That's a lot to take in,
That's a
to be
lot.
honest. You know what I
That's a
mean? Like I know
lot to
we
take
could
in.
keep going on, but just sort of looking at the words in the next
Yeah.
chapter,
Yeah.
I think I think we should call it here.
Chapter 30, that's gonna be a good one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't I don't have the space.
Right? Just even reading text 1, I'm like, okay, all right. We're talking about, yeah, we can barely hang. It's like we're barely hanging on to our night, right? It's
Yeah.
like another, I'm going to go right to bed after this.
No, yes. 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 Lay in a dark room and just breathe and contemplate.
Right. Chant the name
Yeah,
of
Hare
Krishna and
Krishna,
just thank
Hare
Krishna and be
Krishna,
grateful for this
Krishna
amazing
Krishna,
experience.
Hare
Even though
Hare.
some days it feels like we don't know what the heck we're doing, just flailing around, just down
Ugh.
here, madly human, just like not know what the heck we're doing. Sometimes it's like you're a little kid and you're going through life and you're a little kid, and at some point you become an adult and you're like supposed to know things.
Hmm. Yeah.
But actually, you're just that same little kid. It's like, I hope no one notices that actually I'm old, but I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Normal adult things, which some days I feel very capable as an adult, by the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
very capable. Other
Yeah.
times, it's like when you're deep in your feelings, I think you go
Yeah.
back to that inner child part of you that just is afraid of time
Yeah. Yeah.
and that whole thing. It feels
Yeah.
like a lot. Well, we made it through a chapter. I feel good. I feel
I'm really glad we read that.
I am too.
I'm really glad that we read that.
I am too. Um and yeah, I think it's time for bed.
Yeah. Until next time, my sweet friends. Go listen to my mom's recording of the Bhagavad Gita. I've been loving
Mm,
just playing it even as I'm like just getting ready in the morning and having those transcendental words in the background. It's beautiful. Thank you for that offering and gift.
yeah, it's a joy to read it. Honestly, as I'm reading it, there's something happening to my body. I can't
Yes.
explain it.
Yeah.
It's like transforming, just saying the words, just speaking the words of the Gita.
Well,
Ugh.
it's a joy to receive it as well. So thank you for that.
All right, my friends. Thanks for listening. We're kind of slightly rambly tonight, but you know what? Thanks for making it this far. You're the
Yeah.
best. Love and
Sweet,
healing and blessings to you.
sweet dreams, sweet day.
Yes.
Until next time.
See you next time.
Hare Krishna.
Bye.